Hello there! It's time to look over another holiday weapon, and this is one of the weapons you shouldn't judge by its look. You may see this as just another pistol, but it is a lot better than you think. Unpopular opinion, by the way. If you haven't checked out the cousin of this other holiday pistol, the Coco 45, I would highly suggest watching that and perhaps pick it up too when you get the chance. That marshmallow shooting gun is a menace. So today's weapon is gonna be the Ginger Blaster. I used it in a couple 160 missions. It really did not disappoint me, especially when this pistol is completely locked to physical element. It still deals quite the damage on some of the husks. Well, kind of okay with smashers, but you get what I'm saying. You can obtain the Ginger Blaster schematic through a quest called Dimming Embers. For this quest, you are required to survive for about 30 minutes in a Frostnite modifier called Superheated. It comes around during the Winterfest season, and it is available for only one whole week per year, in which that is probably a reasonable time because the Superheated Frostnite is actually not easy. So what made me quite impressed using the Ginger Blaster is that its base damage is not very high like the majority of the pistols in the game, with only 72 base damage, which is not bad at all. It does have a weird scale of recoil, probably because it's a revolver, so the accuracy on this weapon is not bad, but not perfect. It did a pretty good job on deleting some husks off, and the healing green jellies drop from any kill done because of a 6 perk. That's what makes this pistol weapon pretty special. Speaking about the perks on the Ginger Blaster, we can take a look on the perks it can have and what perks are available. So my maxed out Ginger Blaster here is clearly built for critical hits, in which I used it in the 160 missions. 1 critical rating, double crit damage, and reload speed. Like I said before, this revolver is locked on physical. I feel like there is a reason behind it that I do not know, but I think it's probably okay, the fact that it deals pretty okay damage. And lastly, it has healing drops for elims as the 6th perk of this weapon. As to what I said about this Ginger Blaster having a cousin, the Coco 45, this holiday pistol can also have triple crit damage. I would honestly say, in my opinion, it'll be as strong as the other holiday pistol with triple crit damage as well. But the reason I didn't go for that build is because it is locked to physical element. If I were to be able to change it, for example, water element, and use it against fire husks, a triple crit damage Ginger Blaster would be really powerful alongside with the Healing Drops 6 perk, and it'll be one of the best and fun pistols out there. But the downfall of it is having it to be locked on physical. Therefore, I just went for the basic crit rating and crit damage coverage build. You can have magazine size on the 2nd and the 4th slot. Its regular clip size is 6 rounds, in which typically most revolvers have, but if 6 is not enough for you, you can probably have 1 magazine size in one of these 2 slots if you rather shoot more rounds than reloading a lot. Fire rate is also a thing on the 1st slot. It does shoot a little slow at times, but if you have that kind of speedy trigger finger, well, you could probably have fire rate on this one if you want to shoot that fast. For the reload speed, it can have on both 1st and 2nd slots of the perks. In my opinion, 2 seconds of reload time is actually not very slow. I have this one with the reload speed because I wanted to reload faster, but even without the perk, it is still fine as is. If you prefer magazine size, that is also okay. I'm not sure about the math behind this in terms of damage per second, but in all honesty, I would say either perks work the same way. If you're one of those people that sits in aim lab for hundreds of hours, perhaps headshot damage perks can be a thing for this pistol. I did say this weapon is not too accurate, but if you can use the Ginger Blaster steadily, you can probably have the headshot perk on one of these 2 perk slots. And lastly, we know for sure some weapons in the game can have quadruple damage, and this pistol is one of them. And now we can take a look on the 6th perk and the other ones that the Ginger Blaster can have. The one I have currently is, as explained before, any elims with the Ginger Blaster can drop heals, which are the green candies or gumdrops that sit there, which is very cool for survivability. You can run around picking them up to heal yourself while in combat. The other 2 6 perks are also okay too, not to be surprised. The 5 headshots for 30% weapon damage is really decent, matches really well if you think about building this for headshotting husks. Well, if you are really good with aim, that is. And another 6 perk is the Affliction status effect for 6 seconds. The Ginger Blaster doesn't have the perk for dealing more damage against afflicted targets, but it will still do a great job at killing husks on their last bit of health. Now that we know what perks the Ginger Blaster can have, I do have a neat loadout that helped me out boost the potential of this holiday pistol. So now you'll think it'll be the typical Outlander loadout like the Coco 45 one. It's actually not. I have this built with a tiny bit of a tweak. I have Quick Draw Calamity as our commander lead for this loadout. She increases pistol damage by 60% and impact by 75% for the first 6 shots with any pistol. Since the Ginger Blaster is a revolver, it has 6 rounds per clip. Mine does not have magazine size, so that means the 60% damage is at effect all the time. The reason why I picked Quick Draw as lead over Ranger Deadeye is because of the stat difference and class perks. For sure, their commander perks are different. Quick Draw has 60% pistol damage, while Ranger has 50% pistol and SMG damage. The 10% is a big difference. In terms of class perks and stats, soldiers have 2 class perks, which are Suppressive Fire and Stay Frosty. One adds 3% damage buff on a single target, and it stacks up to 5. Another is increased ranged weapon damage by 10% and weapon stability by 35% for a certain time. Most people don't notice this because they couldn't tell the damage difference in game, but the class perks actually does something for a change. And lastly, soldiers tend to have much higher base health than Outlanders. And I'm using a Blast from the Past team perk as well, so I had to pick Quick Draw Calamity as a commander for this loadout. Anyway, Saurian Might and Saurian Height to activate the team perk, make it count as a support perk to increase crit damage for pistol and SMG by 75%, Hip Shot to increase overall damage with pistol and SMG by 17%, lastly, Coconuts as our healing source. I know that the Ginger Blaster's healing drop 6 perk exists, but the Coconuts help out increase the overall damage by 16%. And for another reason, the anti-air traps strangely target the gumdrops as projectiles and disintegrates them. Pretty sad to see, but if you're curious, you can try doing it in a mission. Well, for a quick test or for science. The Ginger Blaster is actually a fun weapon, not gonna lie. Just because you can't change it to any other elements doesn't mean that it can't be a great weapon. I mean, some of the black metal weapons I have tried are locked on 2 elements, and they did a pretty decent job against nature husks. It's only a matter of which husks you want to point the gun at. If you don't want to deal with that kind of situation, you can place this holiday pistol in your collection book. I apologize for the huge delay of this video that I was supposed to upload about a month ago, but I am trying to get things together. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this. I'll see you all later. Take care of yourself and love yourself.